Ваша последняя книга. О чем она рассказывает?
My latest book, and I think this is my 24th or 25th book, I guess. It's called Arizona Oddities, A Land of Anomalies and Tamales, because we have so many odd things about Arizona and just really anomalies. The first white man to come to Arizona was a black man. The first cowboy was an Indian. And the first cattlemen in Arizona were the Jesuit priests who introduced cattle to Arizona in the early 1700s. And we're just full of things like that. The gunfight at OK Corral didn't take place at the OK Corral. Let's see, the founding colonel, a Spanish colonel, who founded the old Pueblo at Tucson, Arizona, was a red-headed Irishman named O'Connor. So people can't figure us out, and we can't either, because we pride ourselves on being unusual and unusual things.
Расскажите какой-нибудь свой любимый исторический анекдот об Аризоне.
There were a lot of gunfights in the Old West, but one of the most unusual that I've written about and run across was an Arizona Ranger. It was called on to a man's girlfriend had run off with another man, and he caught up with him in Benson, Arizona, and he had threatened him, and he was going to kill the man, and there happened to be an Arizona Ranger in town. Harry Wheeler was his name, and Harry Wheeler was probably one of the best gunfighters in the West at the time, and a great shooter, and he was captain of the Arizona Rangers, and he just happened to be in town, and they called him out, and they said the man is over there down the street, and he's mad, he's threatening to kill me, and Wheeler said, I will arrest him, and so he went down, and the man started firing at him, and he fired a pistol, and he hit him in the leg. One bullet hit the leg, and the ranger was still on his feet though, and he pulled his pistol and he shot the man, and shot him about 3 times, and the man finally he said, "I'm all done. You got me." And the ranger had emptied his pistol. He only had 4 rounds in his pistol, and his pistol was empty anyway. So he dropped his pistol and walked towards the man to make the arrest. And as soon as he did, the guy raised his pistol and fired again. And the ranger said there was nothing else to do. I didn't have to have he grabbed his pistol off the ground and he threw it at the guy. And the guy dodged the pistol, and then he's picking up a rock and he throws it at him. And this is the funniest gunfight, because this guy's got a pistol here, and he's trying to shoot the ranger, and the ranger's got nothing left but throw rocks at him. And finally, the guy from the gunshot wounds he'd gotten earlier, he finally collapsed on the ground, and they were lying there, and they called for the two wounded men were lying on the ground, the ranger and the man that he had shot. Tracy was his name, and finally they brought a doctor over, and the ranger said, take care of him, he's hurt a lot worse than I am. The guy says, no, take care of him, I'm going to die anyway. So at the end, these 2 guys are on the ground and fighting over who's going to who the other guy should take the doctor, because I'm going to die. It just struck me as a funny gunfight, because it never happens in the movies unless the Coen brothers do it. I can't think of sometimes, and then I start telling them, and I start thinking one leads to another. But this is a fellow named Bill Downing, who was such a disliked. Even the other outlaws didn't like him. He was such a mean hombre, and so they finally they caught him. He was a train robber. They caught him and they sent him to prison, and he got out of prison about 1909. And he comes back to Wilcox, and he opens a saloon, and he calls it the Free and Easy Saloon. And he has these girls working for him in there, and they were serving drinks and also making money on the side. And but he trained them to be pickpockets. because Bill Downing's, he just can't, even though he was in prison for a few years, he can't give up his bad ways. So he's training these girls, he trains them to be pickpockets. And so get the customer up in the room and then pick his pocket. And so, or even at the bar, get him drunk and then pick his pocket. So these girls got real good at it. And but there was one girl that he abused, and she didn't want to take that. He was a mean man, had a bad reputation, and the local sheriff was afraid of him. But this girl just decided, I am not going to take that from him. And there's an Arizona Ranger in town. Again, I've written a lot about the Arizona Rangers, and the Arizona Ranger town, and he has this great name, Billy Speed. Billy Speed was his name, and he was good with a gun. And so he waits till early in the morning, because this is a good time if you're going to arrest somebody that's a heavy drinker. It's really a good time to wait till morning, and when he's still hadn't needs a little hair of the dog that bit him there. And Downing is in the bar having a drink, and the ranger comes out, and he's standing outside in the street, and he says, Downing, you're under arrest. And Downing looks out and he sees the ranger, and he thinks, I'll fix him. He's got a pistol. He's left-handed, and he's got a pistol in his left hip here. And he takes his, he gets up to the bar. He's going to go out the back door, and he's going to come around this way and ambush the ranger. Well, he picks up, he gets up off the bar stool, and the girl that he had beaten, and it was a clever pickpocket, she takes two fingers out there and takes the pistol out of his holster. She's got the pistol. He doesn't realize it. She was so slick. Remember, she's a pickpocket. And she goes out, and he goes out around the back door, and he comes around. Well, about this time, Billy Speed figures when Downing doesn't come out the front door, and he's armed with a rifle. And he figures that Downing's probably coming away down through the alley to ambush him, so he says, I'll go that way too, and I'll get the drop on him. So Downing is coming around this way, Billy Speed is coming this way, and they meet, and the ranger brings up his rifle, and in a gunfight, a rifle is much better than a pistol. And Downing reaches for his pistol, and it's not there. And the ranger shoots him, because he doesn't know. He looks like he's going for his gun, and the ranger shoots him and kills Bill Downing, and that's how they got rid of one of the worst outlaws. And so the motto of the story is, don't go for your gun unless you're sure it's there. That's another one of my favorites.
Спасибо вам большое за ваши рассказы, за то, что вы вообще пришли.
Пожалуйста.